Welcome to the Hawks Nest, the home for all your Hawks and NBL news. I'm your host, Glenn Saville. We've got a great show for you this week. We'll have all the news from round 17, and on the panel this week, we'll have the boys from the Hawks pit crew. Now, let's take a look at the top stories from around the league. The Hawks and the Crocs have turned the NBL on its head this week, with the bottom two sides defeating the top two sides. The Crocs beat Perth on Friday before the Hawks stunned the 36ers with a 22-point win, which keeps their playoff chances alive. Hawks forward Shane Harris-Tunks has been nicknamed the Cheeseburglar after his lone free throw got the Hawks to the 100-point mark and clinched free cheeseburgers for the Wollongong crowd. The popularity of the game continues to rise, with round 16 seeing the NBL post record numbers across the board, with games attracting the biggest combined attendance for a round this season. Television viewership is also on the rise, with a 60% lift in the number of people watching compared to this time last year. The NBL continues to prospect for expansion teams, with the league officials in Canberra to discuss the possibility of the Cannons returning, having already stopped off in Tasmania and Melbourne. In related news, the New Zealand-based side, the Wellington Saints, have signed Shane Heal to coach them during the NBL off-season, which could be the first step in a bid to become New Zealand's second NBL team. Heal is off contract with the Kings at the end of the season. Now, let's have a look at all the results from round 17 and the ladder standings so far. Wollongong Hawks have one of the loudest fan bases in the league. This week we sent Hawks Nest field correspondent Asa Schuster out and about before the game to talk to the fans about what they love about game day.
Asa Schuster here reporting for the Hawks Nest, and today we're finding out what it means to be a Hawks fan, and we've got the pit crew right here pre-game. Shane, first of all, how did the pit crew come about?
Hey, you know, Asa, we have been fans ever since we were kids, probably a bit like yourself. Growing up, it was the best atmosphere, you know, and we want to just try and bring a bit of that to the games and get the crowd involved and energetic, and hopefully help the Hawks along the way as well.
Alrighty, we've got something of a super fan here, Super Hawks fan, Graham Lancaster.
First of all, we got to show people your jersey, if you can just turn around for a sec. That's legit. So
Now, if you go on the Hawks Facebook, sometimes you can find some poetry there by you.
yeah,
And I'm just wanting to get into how you became a Hawks poet or a sports poet.
I just started writing. I'm a lawyer, so I like to play with words, and I love to play with words in a recreational sense. I deal with them formally all day. And I started writing poetry, and I thought, what's something I could write about, something I love, and the Hawks came to mind.
Who are some of your favourite players?
At the moment, I was going to say, I'm glad you said players, I couldn't pick one. At the moment, I'm loving Rodney Clark. I'm loving his determination. He's a little terrier, big three-point bombs. Tigsy, smiling assassin. You know, he does some amazing stuff out there, very athletic, and he's always got a smile on his face. And Dave Gruber, he is the perennial warrior. He just keeps on going and going and going. He's a solid fella.
What kind of chants you got for particular players? What kind of special things you got for some of our guys?
All right, we really like what Rodney's brought to the Hawks this year, so we got a little chant for him, and we can throw it out there, boys. Let's do it.
You can't stop the run. You can't stop the run.
What's your favourite aspect of today?
Just when they come out, the game, it's about to start. You know that's going to happen from there on. Getting the crowd going, I love doing. The pit crew has been a great innovation this year, and I think that's one of the best things we've done. Of course, they're not as loud as me, but they'll get there.
Is there something you guys would tell people out there that have thought about coming to games, haven't necessarily got here, or to bring people to the game? What would you guys tell them?
Get down here, experience it for yourself. I mean,
the atmosphere doesn't translate through the TV coverage, so get down and experience a live game, and then you'll understand what it's really like.
What's the best thing about the games?
When they score.
When they score baskets?
Seeing them win.
I like to come and watch the sumo suits.
We love the atmosphere and the community feel of it all. Love the music. It's all good.
We like that it's family friendly. We can all come together and have a good day out.
I am that child with hope in their eyes. I watch you with joy, awed by your size. I am that youth working through life, learning from you skills to keep me from strife. I am that parent, young through to grand. I sit in a wheelchair, I sit in the stands. I cheer as the team on the court arrives, to give all as bench coach or starting five. I live through you and exult in your glory, each moment your chance to write a new story. I'll be there, come what may. Bring your game, I'll bring the love, 'cause I'm a Hawks fan.
Welcome back to the show. Time to take an in-depth look at the issues around the league. This week we're joined by some of the boys from the Hawks pit crew. Welcome to the nest, boys. Who the hell are you blokes, and why are your heads the same size as mine?
My name's Brett.
I like long walks on the beach.
I like,
No.
yes, definitely.
Rob.
Boris.
And I'm Tim.
Boys, the state of the league at the moment, there's been lots of talk about expansions, currently with 8 teams. What are your thoughts on what the league needs to do? Do you have any thoughts on that currently?
My personal opinion is let's get the current teams right. Whoever's in the league at the moment, support them, get that right, then look to expand. But I wouldn't mind seeing the league and the competition grow as long as it's the right place, the right time. Somewhere like Brisbane, obviously Tasmania have been talking about, but also...
Would you like to see a team in Tasmania so the pit crew can go on a roadie to Tassie?
Probably not the best place for a roadie. I prefer Brizzy, but yeah, maybe even like Newcastle, those sort of places. So that'd be all right.
So getting the teams right, what are the issues you think that the league probably faces at the moment with that?
One thing that we've found is numbers.
Can these other guys talk or not?
Nah, they're on mute.
Are you the captain of the pit crew or something?
Co-captain.
Oh, right.
Co-captain. No, one thing we found is numbers to the games and scheduling conflicts. So obviously they've, addressed the problems that we have here in Wollongong with like convoy and Sydney to Gong, bike ride, that sort of stuff as well. That's kept some numbers down. So if we can, stray day. So if we can get some stuff like that sorted, I think the crowds will come back.
Valentine's Day coming up as well. Some people might not be able to get there. The missus might not come.
So I'll probably forget it. So I know I will.
You're right.
What about you boys?
Yeah, I think to get those teams that are currently in the league and improve them, they've got to really look at each team. I mean, Perth, they're doing great, so they know what they're doing. They've got a good model, so why not work off something like that for the other teams around the league? And they've got to get people to the games. That's probably the biggest thing.
As huge fans of the Hawks, it's a little bit disappointing to see that the current crowd numbers at this stage, and a great win against Adelaide, and just over 1,800 people show up to the game.
Oh, definitely. Look, we all grew up at the Snake Pit, watching games there, so it was always a packed house. It was always, crazy, noisy. We had players jumping up bars, things like that.
I think this guy. I think I did that once or twice.
But even coming into the week when we're winning, we got great numbers there, and it just seems that every now and then when we have a down season, we don't get the crowds.
Was that what it comes down to? Hawks have got to win games to get bums on seats. Is that it? Is that how our league is across the board? Adelaide's seeing it. Obviously, Perth's been pretty successful with their crowd numbers, but also they're winning games.
Wins definitely do help, but you've got to support your team no matter what. So it's disappointing that the crowds aren't there. Hopefully, wins will help them come along.
I think what's missing is the people that get there for a one-time game, and then the Hawks might lose, or any team loses badly, or the crowd isn't so great, and then they might want to come back. So I think that's what they need to address: how they get these people coming back. Second, third.
Yeah, you guys, you have your box seats courtside. There's been a lot of changes to the officiating this year. Do you have a few stern words for the referees on a few missed calls here and there, or
no?
What's your thoughts on this new?
We never say anything.
And it's very close to the opposition bench as well. So, do you have a couple of words for some?
We do give them words of encouragement.
Yeah, we try and encourage them to get their best out of them, so we see a better game.
Like Drake Yugu, we kept encouraging him to shoot it.
Yep.
He shot an air ball, so that was good.
Yeah.
We gave it to him then.
We pointed out the direction of the ring for him as well. We sent him diagrams via Twitter to him, just to let him know how to shoot.
I really hate you guys.
Started with pre-season, really, when Sanders rocked up at the snake pit. In warm-ups, he missed a dunk and then a layup back-to-back. Every time he touched a ball from then on, we told him to shoot it.
It's a huge reason why he's probably not playing in the league.
We did tell him that he wouldn't make it through the season. He'd probably end up in Mexico or something like that. But
yeah,
he was good because he came up with. He was the original focal point of the "You Can't Stop the Rot."
Yeah, pretty much. But in all honesty, we do chirp and get at other players. We normally target one of the better players if we can sort of get under their skin. But a lot of them have been really. Have good feedback and given us back, some credit and said, well done, boys. Should be more of it. Like Wortho, for example, we smashed him. We gave it to him about how bad his tat is.
He probably gets that at most.
Yeah, he accepts that because he gets it everywhere. But we even gave it to him about how bad his tat is because he's actually on his calf. He has a tattoo that says Wortho. So we thought that was pretty average. But anyway,
when he's running away from people,
they know who he is. But to his credit. After the game, he came over, shook our hand, and pretty much all those guys said, well done, because we keep it above board. We don't try to, be too disrespectful.
No, that's true.
And
I've heard it all
seemed to work.
No, we're pretty good. We don't, go personal. We don't anything like that. It's all about how they're playing, what they're going to do, how bad they are, how bad that shot was, how bad they just got beat down the other end.
Okay.
Little things like that.
Most of it's supporting our players, I think, as well.
That's good, and that's what that's what our team needs. Yeah. The Hawks imports, you guys have been around the Hawks for a long time. What are your thoughts on them and the imports that we have in the league this year with some NBA prospects and NBA players?
I think Rodney as an import's been a great guard. I think one of the top probably.
Does he even look like a basketballer?
You would, if you saw him walking down the street, no, you wouldn't think so.
Are you trying to copy his hair? That throwback? Is he a role model for your hair? What's happening?
As you know, I've been in Wollongong a lot longer than him. I've had this hairdo for a lot longer than him, so maybe it's a bit of the other way around.
And the other players around the league as well.
Yeah,
the imports.
There's some great imports. I think every team's got one or two good guys. Like look at Perth. They've got two really good imports. I think the quality of the imports has been really good this year.
Little heads up for some Townsville players. Who are you going to target? What are you going after?
Do we give that away? Yeah.
I think it's still.
They're playing some pretty good basketball. You're going to have some pretty good outlet, that's for sure.
We like to call Jacob Holmes Reggie because he wears the same number as Reggie and he seems to think he's a three-point shooter these days. So might be some spike on Reggie action.
All right.
Like I said, I think Hinder's a perfect target because of his age.
Yeah. What did you say?
What's that supposed to mean?
I just
Old people playing basketball.
If they're wearing our jersey, they're all right.
What was that suggestion you gave to the league?
Just move the game a little bit forward, just because he might be napping by that time, or
past his bedtime.
Well, look, mathematically, it's going to be tough for the Hawks. Well, that's what everyone uses pretty much when it's they're up against it. So we'll use the mathematical term. If there was a chance for you to get the Hawks straight in the playoffs now, like drink a schooner of Oscar Foreman's sweat, or is there anything that you wouldn't do? Just keep it above board, by the way.
I probably wouldn't.
Nudie run down Crown Street. Get you straight through to the playoffs.
To see the Hawks in the playoffs, we'd do a lot. But
don't know about the sweat thing.
Well, I'm just trying to see how far you guys want to go with this.
If you can make it happen, then talk to us to see what we can do.
Look, I think we'll find someone in our group that would be willing to do that.
Yeah,
sure,
probably.
Surely it would be.
I think we'd
Big
find
Wes.
someone.
We're probably going to have to go as far with the schooner as well. Let you guys think about it. Okay. Thanks for coming into the Hawks Nest. You're a great supporter of the club. Keep up the good work, and we'll see you boys the next home game.
Thank you.
Thank you.
That's our show. This week, your Wollongong Hawks have back-to-back games. Friday night, we'll see the boys take on the Crocs at home, so get your tickets at tickettech.com.au. And on Saturday night, the Hawks head to Sydney to take on the Kings. For those that want to follow the team on the road, the Hawks are offering a ticket package including a bus there and back. Spaces are limited, so call Hawks HQ if you're interested. We'll be back with a new episode next week. Don't forget to follow us on Facebook and Twitter. I'm Glenn Saville. You've been watching the Hawks Nest. We'll see you next time.